Faith, and welcome to Faith's Take, where I talk about anything and everything that I find interesting. And welcome to the, I think, fourth now, reaction/review to the Gizmoplex episodes of Season 13 of Mystery Science Theater 3000. Today we have both the first Emily short, titled Court Case, and the fourth episode overall, which is 221, Munchie. Most people are saying the movie itself is absolutely awful, but the episode's really good. I think, is it Ryan who said that it's actually like his favorite Jonah episode ever, so we'll see how it goes. Excuse me. Emily's first short, Court Case, quick reminder, didn't really love Jonah and the Bot's first short, but really liked their second one, so we'll see where this one lands in terms of writing. It's a tennis short? That kind of court? Is this really going to be about the making of tennis balls?
The rejects are used as Muppet eyes.
2 Muppet references, let's go! And both from this crow. Props to this Kelsey crow.
These molds are pressurized, which enables them to trap air inside the ball centers. That's how the bounce gets.
If there's one thing in this life that I, like, never wondered how it was made, it's tennis balls.
Covered.
Ew, the ski balls are coming back all gross.
Yeah, that looks really yucky. This just seems like soul-crushing work. I will say that, that one, better than Pipeline to the Clouds by a little bit. Not as good as the meal in 20 minutes, is what I'll say. It's like the middle of the 3 thus far. I feel like already they sounded a little bit more comfortable. You know? Not that they sounded uncomfortable in the original one that they did. It just didn't, you know, it's just taken a while to gel for me with them. Let's Make a Meal in 20 Minutes, though, was really good, especially for only being 5 minutes. Because some 5-minute shorts, even on riff tracks, like, you're getting what you can, but you can only get so much in 5 minutes. But that one was really strong. So, Court Case, it's all about freaking tennis balls. Anyway, we can't put it off any longer, man. I just know that Munchie is a terrible movie, and it just looks terrible and gross and stupid, but we have to do it. Here we go. My Aunt Jackie's laughing at something out there, so here we go. Episode 221, or 1304. Man, Jonah and the Bots with Munchie. Ooh, I didn't read the description yet. In the theater, the crew watches as a hapless child befriends whatever a Munchie is in Munchie. So kind of like, someone had even said in, like, my last chat, like, Munchie versus, Hank the Yeti or whatever. So it's like, it's gonna be like in, To Catch a Yeti, I guess. Or that kind of vibe, I assume. Meanwhile, on the SOL, Jonah stands up for himself by refusing to go back in the theater and suffers the consequences. I assume that's just gonna be one really quick thing, like when Joel would get shocked or whatever, but we'll see.
It's incredible.
It's unbelievable.
It's inconceivable.
Something we're doing is actually working.
Sometimes it feels like that in life, man. I will say, Settlers of Catan, I've played with my sisters a couple times. My sisters and dad are, like, really into it, and I'm like, it's fun, like, it's fine if you keep it moving. Couldn't even snap with this hand. Keep it moving. But I love jokes about it, though. It's probably the most the theme song lyrics have ever changed since, like, the KTMA version, because there's a good chunk of it is different from KTMA to cable. Oh man, that kid's gonna get shot! Oh no!
The guitarist just had to work out his aggression on stage.
They've done this already, haven't they? They need to pull it back together, the guitar. Okay, they did that already. Hang on. Aha! Ha 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 ha! Hang on a second, you guys. Don't you just love when shows recycle not just their own bits, but their own, just down to the last detail. ideas. Don't you just love that when it's the same people, when it's the same main dude now that's in charge of this one, giving them the exact same damn invention that he used in 1992 maybe?
That's right. Most music careers may be temporary, but your guitar doesn't have to be.
And as you spend the remainder of your life working long hours at a fast food joint, folding cheese-aritos, you'll always have a souvenir of your once hopeful youth.
Really dark, Crow. What do you think?
Also, that alone makes it funnier. I'm just saying. I'm just saying that that crow bit there, A, makes it funnier. B, this also shows that Joel or whoever came up with this idea either did not remember a previous invention exchange or had no shame in reusing an invention exchange they already used before. Alright, glad that I'm not crazy, or at least not for that reason, like I thought I might be.
The drumstick comes back.
Reconstitute your band more.
I wonder how many takes that took to go through this whole thing and then have to catch it again and again.
It's the kind of family film you'd show your family if you didn't want to be part of your family anymore. Try not to
I do that to my family all the time with these. Putting it like that makes it sound like I don't want to be part of my family anymore because of the movies I showed my cousin like months ago. Giorgio and I watched Star Games, and to this day he's like, oh my gosh, Star Games, and I'm like, maybe it's subconsciously, you know, if you want a family film, you show your family, if you don't want part of your family, that's like my whole brand. Oh man, let's go. A lot of people said that this movie's absolutely terrible, that this was one of the ones that was tough for them, I think is what I heard. Oh lord. Oh, and the music already. Oh no, this already has that music of like semi-creepy, semi-whimsical. Oh no, oh guys, what are we in for?
The E in Artie stands for entertainment.
A powerful rat named Charles Entertainment Cheese. Don't. Oh, I meant to say this at the beginning and I forgot. I think it was City Forever in the chat said, don't tell her what Munchie's entrance is, or like his introduction or whatever. So, I don't know what it is, and I'm very scared. So, let's go. Today, yes, the today of 1992. This movie's older than me.
We don't need no education.
They just did that in the court short.
Change the thirds and fourths into equal denominations.
Thank you, Andrea. That's
Denominators. Denominations is the type of church you go to. 90s kid movies were either really, really, really fun and good, or really gross and weird and have this off feeling to them.
how can we arrive at a sum?
Body once told me.
10 out of 10.
Sir, excuse me, the card's been declined? Sir!
Leon, show this gentleman
Was public school ever like this? I was homeschooled. Was public school ever like this?
I've been watching you ever since you transferred.
Also, do you think a kid this tiny could have yeeted it that far?
He joins Greenpeace.
What is happening? I get what it's like, too, to have an overactive imagination. Like, I am actually a very in my own world person, more than I think a lot of people, at least that knew me growing up, would think. All the time, I'm what is it called? Maladaptive daydreaming. All the time. So I get it. But when it's in movies, there's a much better way to do it than just cutting back and forth.
So you had a bad day.
Something always happening at old man Hindenburg's place.
Oh man, we got two really good, unironically, two songs that I do love are Bad Day and, All Star. So the fact that Jonah has now sung both of them in less than 5 minutes, or about 5 minutes, I'm just like, let's go, just proving why he's my favorite character.
Back through the infinite manifold. This equation.
He's been really busy with his new family and all. He'll probably call on Sunday.
Or a Sunday. One day. One Sunday.
What about your music?
Oh no, it's always the broken families in the 90s movies. It's always divorced parents or whatever.
Dr. Carlyle injects little animals with cancer cells, and then he He cuts them open to find out what killed them. Now, there doesn't seem to be much logic to this.
Yeah, who tries to cure cancer?
Yeah, right? I'm like, wait a minute.
I gotta go. Tell me when you get it running.
It'd be different if he was like doing it like a psychopath and not a scientist.
Can you believe this garage was on fire a second ago?
Right?
Come on, Nate, you gotta face the facts. He just doesn't want you.
Jesus Christ! Dude! These 90s movies, man, some of them are like... I get that some of them are trying to, like, relate to kids that do have hardships like this, divorced parents or people in their lives that don't understand, no friends at school. I get it. But they love to make it, like, as harsh as possible in some of these movies. And I'm just like... calm down. Like, some of them, they just go too far in terms of being like, hey, kid, f*** you. Like, in terms of just, like, ruining these kids' lives and giving them just the worst possible outcomes. Just having school and family problems isn't enough, so we're gonna amplify that as much as possible. And I'm like, stop. What the heck? He just doesn't want you. As soon as this guy came on screen, too, I was like, look at that effing mustache.
Spend so much time with old Crookshank across the street there.
Shut your effing mouth. I'm gonna throw up. Oh! Oh, God! I'm glad that Joan had the same reaction. Oh.
Well, at least he died doing what he loved, wishing he was dead.
Oh, no!
I threw such shit against the wall, and now he's dead.
Yarr, no one will find our treasure in Burbank.
To be or not to be?
Jeez, Gabe.
Oh, no.
No special effects, just little old me inside this little old box.
First of all, this is giving me major Roller Gator vibes. Because she just walks into, like, a cave or something, where I'm like, why would you even walk in here? And because she hears his voice, I think. And he's like, hey, come here. The difference is, Roller Gator's voice makes you want to off yourself. Whereas, Dum Louise has, like, a good voice, so why is he in this effing movie? Oh.
Aaron Copland's fanfare for the common Munchie.
Yeah, what's going on?
Happening.
Oh,
Oh.
my God!
Oh.
Oh, no!
Oh, what the hell? What in the world? Alright. That was really smart to have them freak out and have Gypsy come in. That's the best excuse they've had of her coming in the theater ever, I feel. So that was nice. But what in the world was that? Where's this gonna go? Where is this going to go is my question. Just because, like, oh, that was awful. That was awful. But, at the same time, we've seen, there's, you know, if I have seen, I hope you have as well, we've been through Roller Gator, we've been through Manos, we've been through To Catch a Yeti, we've been through Monster A Go-Go. I mean, it's bad. It's bad. That was almost impressive. How stupid it was, to be honest. The music of the sparklers, that was almost impressive. In a way, with how out of left field and insane that was. So I guess we'll see how it goes from there. Oh boy. Give me some good host segments, please, please, please.
Jonah, what the heck was that?
I don't know what that was.
Collection of twitches covered in latex.
It looked like a melted Dom DeLuise being played by a melted Dom DeLuise. Let's do our humming.
Okay.
Let's hum with me, okay? Hum. Hum. Hello, my
Game over! Game over!
Hey, what are you dorks doing? Get back in the theater.
Okay, wait, pause real quick. First of all, very funny. Genuinely very funny. That was good. Secondly, I think this is Jonah's first breakdown because of a movie. And maybe these bots. I can't remember. But I love that because, just think about it. All the movies I just named off of, like, we've been through this, were all either OG Mystery Science movies or Riff Tracks movies. None of them have been the Jonah movies. Because, I mean, they've watched some crappy stuff. Robot Wars alone is pretty crappy. But usually the crappiest they get is boring. I think the closest to this they've done is this group is Mac and Me. And even then it was so highly friggin' edited, it like didn't even make any sense. And so it's like, you know, so this might be the first time they freaked out like this that I can remember. Very well done, very funny. Excited to see if they how MANOS does this get. What was a mic one that they freaked out this much on? Because there are mic ones where they freak out, but where was one where they were just like, I want to die? Red Zone Cuba, I think, is the one with the happy upbeat song at the end, I think. So they've definitely had their share as well. I was just trying to think of off the top of my head. So this one being Jonah's turn, let's go.
No.
Oh my gosh, wait, rewind.
No.
What did you just say?
No, I don't think you actually can. You've been threatening me with that since I showed up here.
Oh no.
You have it in you. And if you think these empty threats are gonna change anything...
Oh no!
Yeah, no dice, Kinga. We're taking your...
No! Just like with Joel. I think they did it to him once too, didn't they?
Nona, you interrupted my dog list.
I'm sorry.
You know...
Oh, I couldn't breathe, but I apologize. First of all, really good scene overall. Easily one of the better Jonah host segments ever. Secondly, I believe, I know they shocked Joel multiple times. Did they ever turn off his oxygen? I don't remember them doing that. Doesn't mean they didn't do it. Man, so a movie so bad, because Jonah has been put through it. Jonah's, like they said, he's never tried to escape. He's never really been disobedient. He was even he almost married this freaking woman. So to finally be like, no, this is too much. This movie's too much. I will not do it. Man. And again, he's choking and they're like, you interrupted me. I'm sorry. Just like, what? Oh, man. And that's why Jonah is the best.
What a stupid kid.
Oh my god. How did you know where I live?
I'm a great magician. In fact, I'm so hungry I can make a turkey disappear.
Man, and people thought ugly Sonic's teeth were effed up. I always appreciate when people try to do puppets where they move their eyebrows or their eyeballs or both, or like their facial muscles, things like that. I can appreciate the work, the effort put in. But this tech had been available for at least 6 years by 1992 because they used it in Labyrinth, and they still chose to do that big ass mouth. The problem is having the face stuff, the eyes, eyebrows, any facial stuff move is a cool concept, but you need a design where that makes sense. You need a mouth that works for what you're doing. If the mouth can only move like this much, but the mouth is this big, but only like this much can move, then just give it a smaller mouth, or don't put the teeth in the mouth, or something. God, as someone who loves the Muppets and just appreciates puppetry itself and like how difficult it is, and the artistry of it, I get that it's difficult and that some designs just might not work. But dear God, if the design's not going to work, then don't use the design. Fix it.
Hail Hydra.
I think this has easily been the best written episode so far of these new 4.
And I'd like to pass math.
No problem. Consider it done.
Yet another chance to end the Middle East conflict wasted.
Whoa. When there's a puppet character asking you, what do you want? I'll do it for you, no problem. That's how you get Little Shop of Horrors. That's how you get a ton of deaths and bloodshed. You do not listen to this thing.
On the next episode of Kitchen Waking Nightmares.
Yeah, what? Oh my lord.
Can't believe we ate that entire pizza.
Hey, how about some...
Except the crust, which is the best part.
Don't worry about me, pal. Hammer nails, I come prepared.
Pontius Pilate sends his regards.
Oh no.
The leg gauge or you won't have time for breakfast.
Munchie left me famished.
Oh my god. No. Oh.
Ready, where's cheerleader practice?
What are you doing?
Yeah, this is an elementary school.
No.
Another big problem about it is the skin and the eyes. If they had done less realistic eyes and made the skin one flat color instead of trying to make it look all fleshy, if they just picked one main tone and that's just flat, that's just it, It doesn't need a million colors within it like actual flesh has. It looks like he has some kind of disease. It's like if you just change the flesh tones and make the mouth smaller, change the flesh tones, make the eyes less like... Clearly they're trying to make it look realistic, but it still looks fake. So just don't even try to make it look real at all. Excuse me, hiccups. That alone would make enormous improvements. Not saying it would fix it entirely, but it would be so much less hideous.
But it's always good to see you, Marilyn.
Stop! What is happening? Why do the kids' 90s movies always do stuff like this?
Must we be so formal?
Oh my god! Yes, what is happening? Stop! I'm gonna throw up.
No whammies, no whammies, no.
Ugh. Freaking Mr. B Natural hiding in that locker.
But if anything is wrong, I'm the one who gets in trouble.
Relax, pal.
Granted, at this point, he's only helped him. Like, I'm just...
He's between a jock and a hard place. What?
Save the bad jokes for Munchie.
You're becoming desensitized to Munchie already. You'll be fine.
I don't know.
Until tonight, when he pops up in your dreams.
Oh no.
Hey, just get back to work. Well, actually, Kinga, I was hoping we could get a...
Way to not get that eye line right. If you're gonna use all blue and green screen, get the freaking eye lines right. She's looking at her, like, neck.
Hey, have either of you guys seen Growler or M. Waverly lately?
Who?
What?
No previous experience.
What the heck?
of wrongdoing,
Oh, Growler's the best. First of all, the crow line really good. But damn it, I love Growler. Why are you making him join the bad guys? He's their answer to Rolf the dog. Tisk, tisk, even the best of us fall.
I was hoping he wasn't going to be back in the movie when we came in the theater.
That sounded like real. That sounded like real pain.
It's time to play the music.
Yeah!
It's a curtain on the Munchie show tonight.
Yay!
Beat up Leon Daggett and arrange that little incident in my office. When I can prove your responsibility...
I was about to say, you can't, like, sure, the fight in the locker room, sure, but the rest of it, I'm like, you can't prove any of that.
Why don't you go back to your box and find yourself a new friend?
It's called show business, not show friends.
Wait. Okay, this is already so stupid. It's like, so far, he literally has only helped this kid. Yeah, he's annoying, but he's only helped him. Hasn't actually screwed anything up. Literally, it's just the principal being like, I know it's you. That's literally it. There's been no other consequences.
Has it been that long?
Yes, it has.
And I already flunked out.
I'll never forget seeing you that first day.
Whoa, stop. I thought maybe they were making it like a little less than a year-ish since the dad left or whatever, because it was time for him to have a new family, for her to date this guy, and for Gage to like still be super affected by it. Like, it was pretty new. So I assumed it was like maybe a year. 2 months since they moved to that town. 2 months. Maybe the dad already had his family like set up for a while or something. But she's only known this dude 2 months, and he's already like, I'm gonna be your new dad, I'm marrying your mom. What?
I heard some noises. Is everything alright?
No, everything is not all right, you smart aleck punk. Everything is all wrong.
Ellie!
He's not smart.
That innocent little
He was upstairs.
You should never ask for anything unless you really want it.
I know.
Is that what the puppet team said to the concept artist for this movie?
No, I don't speak Munchie, but me thinks there's gonna be a party.
Just, oh my gosh.
This is perfect timing, as you're the perfect person to ask this. But we gotta know.
What is Munchie?
Munchie.
Got it. Oh my gosh, no.
Okay, so Munchie can sound like anyone, and he chooses to sound like Dom DeLuise.
My mother is gonna kill me.
Relax, pal.
Well,
We'll be home for hours. How?
I was about to say, if he's magic, they can just clean it up in a snap, so it doesn't really matter. I don't understand why the kid is, like, so mad at Munchie constantly. Because there are definitely movies with the supernatural creature, the puppet creature friend, that is constantly getting them into trouble, and they constantly have to hide it, and of course they'd get mad because it's like, you're ruining my life, and that can make sense, you know? But in this case, all Munchie has done is help this kid, like, legitimately. I'm not saying that makes this a good movie. I'm not saying it isn't ugly and annoying and weird. Not saying that at all. But in Munchie's defense, from a script standpoint, he has given Gage literally no reason to ever be upset at him. He has only gotten Gage exactly what he wanted. The only thing that's happened other than that is the teacher was mad at him one time for something he couldn't, like, prove. And now he's not even mad anymore. Gage has had literally no reason to ever believe Munchie isn't going to do what he says he's going to do, or hasn't done something that has been helpful. So I don't know why they have this kid being so bitter. Literally everything's just gone his way. It'd be different if it was, you get something you want, but there's a cost, you know? Like, that would be something different. But it's not. Everything's just going okay, so why is he such a bitter little man?
You and I are such good friends. Why don't we just keep it like that for a while? I don't think I'm ready to make a serious commitment right now.
Such good friends. You were making out with him in front of your house the other day.
Since Mom died.
Oh, come on, Munchie.
You know, I'm really glad you asked us over tonight.
Oh my god, I love that Jonah and I like the exact same, like, oh my.
Gage, they found me. I don't know how they found me.
The Libyans. Wait a minute. Wait. Is it so? I hope they're, oh god. He likes her. She also clearly likes him. Right? They're clearly kind of flirty for 10-year-olds. They both have single parents. Do not set up their parents. I know they're going to make them like a happy family, but that just makes it weird because they like each other. Stop. Just, it's like, don't bring that meme to life. What are you doing, step bro? It's like, don't do it.
It's comforting to see Munchie in a body bag.
Yeah.
It's okay, Mrs. Dawson. You can follow in my car.
Great.
Wow, her dad really is the best. Can't Munchie just magic the car into a better place?
Elliot went from jerk to attempted murderer in less than a minute.
Right?
Highway to the Munchie.
Oh yeah. Hey, you know, that was actually established though.
It's a strain on my resources. Financially? Enjoy it while we can.
Excuse me.
Money is not a resource technically in economics.
We're giving you two demerits, whatever those are.
Not a bad callback.
Tell them who I am!
Officers, I've never seen this man before in my life.
Okay, here's why that's so funny though. Let me tell you why that's so funny to me. It's not because it's actually that funny in the movie. The context of it is not that funny, but there was a time when I believe it was growing up, my mom and aunts and my nana and grandpa lived in a house next door to, I believe it was next door to my grandpa's mom's house. There was one day where she needed a lot of her stuff moved out of the house. I don't remember if they were moving or if it was just that they were like getting new furniture, I think. So she had my grandpa and his like brothers, his siblings, taking the furniture out of the house because he lived next door, so they're just taking it out. And some cops came up because someone reported it as a robbery. They were robbing the house in broad daylight. So they call the cops. So they show up and they start trying to, you know, talk to and interrogate my grandpa. And he's like, no, this is my mom's place. I literally live right next door. Look, my daughter's on the porch. And it was my mom. Don't know how old she was, but she was like a kid or a teenager. And the police is like, hey, you know, hey, miss, do you know this man? And she said, I've never seen him before in my life. And apparently my grandpa was so shocked he couldn't even say anything like in response. He was so like, just completely flabbergasted that she even said it. Obviously he ended up being okay. They didn't actually arrest him. I think they called, either called my great-grandma or she showed back up. It was like, yes, this is my house, that's my son, like, this is my family moving my stuff. But my mom pulled that on my grandpa when she was a kid. I've never seen this man before in my life. She was on the porch, she said that, and she walked into the house. She was just like, never seen this man before, got out of there. That's why that was funny. Not because it was actually that funny in context, but in context of my family's life and lineage, it was very funny.
1 out of 10? Are they already reviewing the movie? So they're a blended family now?
Yeah, that's the thing. A blended family, but the kids like each other. Is that what's going on?
We were held up in a stalled elevator.
I don't understand. If you're the crew, then who's at the controls of that plane?
Oh my gosh.
Hopeful hijacking you.
Are you really gonna do this movie? really gonna do this movie? Oh my god.
For everything.
Why are you thanking Munchie for?
Oh man, guys. We made it, guys.
Emily, after the next bad movie you see,
We must discuss what our plan shall be.
to find our way home, we two Earthers.
To the planet where they make original Worthers.
Hey, hey, are you two speaking in rhymes? You know we can't hear rhymes.
It's a genetic quirk of bad guys. Our hearing is non-rhyming based.
It's like how Tyrannosauruses can only see things that move. And
What?
We've explained our most vulnerable weakness pretty clearly.
Yeah, so don't take advantage of it.
What? That's so stupid. Are Okay. Okay, real quick. Okay, so I'll say this. I like genuinely episode itself really good. The episode itself was very, very good. It was consistent the whole way through, being funny. The riffs were good, even in the first part before Munchie's even there. Then afterward, obviously, it just gets worse and worse, like the movie itself. But it was genuinely really, really good. Riff, absolutely. I think the host segments in this one overall were stronger than the last 3 episodes have been. I think this is easily the strongest episode by far of the season. Would I go so far to say it's my favorite Jonah episode? I don't know, because there are a few that are really, really strong. So I'd have to compare. I'd have to see them more recently and compare. But it is very good. And actually, the movie is bad. The movie is bad. It is not a good movie by any stretch. But I think I've seen worse movies even with that exact same formula, guys. Like, Roller Gator is worse than that movie. And it's a similar, like, you go into a cave and you find this random little puppet that can't really move that well. And it has a super weird, annoying voice, but the voice is worse. The movie's even worse. It's less comprehensible. There clearly was way less money and time put into it. Not even saying Munchie obviously had a big budget of time. It clearly did not. But I think we've seen worse. At least I have seen worse. I assume a lot of you guys I know have seen Roller Gator, To Catch a Yeti, MANOS, all those other movies. So I would actually say Munchie, like Tom said, after the second host segment, he's like, you're getting desensitized already. That's the thing. Once the initial shock of how horrible and ugly it is wears off, wears off. Once you get used to you know what it's gonna look like. Visually, it's like the rest of the movie, like I said earlier, could have been way worse, because there's a lot of 90s movies that love that effing fisheye lens, and they love trying to make, even in a movie that's supposed to be like hijinks and romp, they like making the audience as visually uncomfortable as possible, and I don't know why they do that. But there were movies that I would see growing up that would do that, and I hate it. So this movie didn't do that, and the puppet, again, it's like ugly as sin. So I don't know why they did. I don't know why they wasted the facial muscles on a puppet that looked like that instead of doing the design well and then having those like circuits and stuff in there and having it work. Again, it's like they love taking the step parent or the principal, making the most evil person on the planet, because you can't show real evil in a kid's movie. But it was definitely not good. It was definitely insane. It was definitely ridiculous. But if you're gonna have a movie where it's either a puppet or some kind of supernatural creature, whatever, I think Pod People is worse, because that has Trumpy in it. You have Pod People, you have Roller Gator, all those types of movies. I think there's movies that haven't even riffed that are just as bad as this with that similar formula. So it is bad. It's bad. But I don't believe that it's the worst Mystery Science movie by far. Some people are saying this is like, MANOS, it's so bad. And again, it's bad. But I'm like, you could just give me the list of Mystery Science episodes. It's going to be below a lot of things. It's going to be below what's his name? Coleman Francis movies. It's going to be below MANOS, Roller Gator, you know, a lot of these films. You know, what else did I just say? Like, there's just a lot of worse movies they've done. Pod People, like I said. Like, there's a lot of worse stuff they've done. Again, doesn't make this film good by any means, but I think because of the build-up, everyone behind the scenes of this, for weeks, they've been like, oh, they are telling us how bad it is behind the scenes, and then by the time it actually came out, people in my chat would be like, it's so terrible. And so I was like, okay, strap in. And I think there are definitely elements of that in this movie. But I think at this point, I've seen so many bad things. So many bad things. And it was riffed well. I'll say that as well. If it was riffed poorly, like Atlantic Rim is a terrible movie in the fact that it is just boring as all get out. But what makes the episode one of the worst episodes of the series, in my opinion, is that the riff is also so boring, cannot redeem the film in any way. In this one, the movie is worse in terms of like, it's like more irritating than Atlantic Rim. At the same time, though, the riffs are way better. So the episode itself comes out way better despite the movie itself being worse, if that makes sense. So personally, it's like, I really enjoyed this episode. I would highly recommend it if you haven't already seen it, to at least rent it and give it a shot. That was genuinely, I would say, of the 4 thus far, literally, I would say buy or rent the How to Make a Meal in 20 Minutes and this episode, and you've got the best stuff. Like, you don't really need the other stuff so far. You know, I think, like I said, Court Case was closer to being a good short than the Pipeline one was, but it still paled in comparison to the Meal in 20 Minutes. And then again, it's like the previous 3 episodes, the first 2 of Jonah's are fine, they're pleasant enough, but they're kind of bland, like the segments are bland, and the movies don't really evoke a lot. I think the Beyond Atlantis movie was slightly more interesting, and like meeting Emily and her boss is at least something to it, but riff-wise, it just doesn't stand out much more. You know, like I said, it's just about on the same page as the other 2 episodes. So let's go real quick. First of all, the segments were really, really, really good in this one for the most part. I think that they were pretty strong. Having Jonah just completely being like, I can't do this, having this be Jonah's MANOS, basically, you know, being unable to take it, and being like, I don't want to go in the theater again, him calling King his bluff, but King actually being like, you know, you think I won't, which, you know, in line of her father, makes sense. So, that was really good. Them, having their own Munchie puppet was funny, which was obviously way cuter than the one in the film, because it was more Muppet. If you took that design to Jim Henson, was like, maybe there's a puppet, that's what it would have looked like. So that ending also, I think that's so stupid to suddenly say, and here's what, I think canonically it's stupid as well, not just stupid as in lazy writing.
Well, that's just lazy writing.
It's really, really stupid to be like, they can't hear rhymes. That's bad guys can't hear rhymes like T-Rexes can't see. They've effing sang. They've had songs. That's not true. That's why it bothers me. If this was a non-musical show, it would still be stupid. It would still be absolutely stupid. But maybe I would be like, okay, I get it. It's a joke. But this is a show where they sing the theme song. They sing the theme song. Clearly they can hear rhymes. That's just lazy writing. It's genuinely lazy, much like the props in this season. It's effing lazy. And so there had to be a better way, whether it be that they could distract. They have 2 sets of bots that these guys find annoying. So why couldn't you have the bots distract them? Why couldn't you have Jonah or Emily come up with some kind of code or some kind of machine that they could transmit things to that the Mads aren't going to be able to intercept for whatever reason? Like, you could come up with something kind of smart to show that these 2 people are smart, and they're, you know, Jonah was like head of whatever at Gizmoplex, I don't remember, and then Emily was like a technician or whatever. She was the one putting in the simulator. So there's multiple ways you could have gotten around it, still made a joke out of it, or made it a funny scene without it being like, yeah, the bad guys are even stupider and even more ineffectual in a way that's not even funny, because it doesn't make sense. In canon, it doesn't make sense. So that's really stupid. It's like all they have to do is rhyme. I'm like, then if they can't get out within 10 seconds, that's their fault for being idiots themselves. That's the thing. Like, the Mads will show promise, or they'll have a fun bit, and then they do some stupid crap like this, and I'm like, it's not funny. It doesn't make sense, because again, it's a musical show, and they sing the theme song in this show themselves. So it doesn't make sense, and it's not funny. Which is like the 2 cardinal sins of such things happening. It's like, if it doesn't make sense and it isn't funny, then why is it here? Like, if you're going to have a plot, if you're going to add plots to these seasons, because they always want to effing add plots to these season 11 and past seasons, then fine, add your bits, add your plots, but then please stick to your own canon, at least a little bit, Or if you're not going to, it better be freaking hilarious. The thing is, when they decide to do plots, it A, doesn't make sense, or is disrespectful to previous characters that existed, like last season, where it's like, oh, these characters are dead now, cremated, they're never coming back. Like, oh, thanks. Thanks for doing that unceremoniously and off-screen and all that, and then not showing the effing end of it. Thanks. So you have that. And then on the other hand, I'm like, then at least make it funny, and they don't. It either comes off as stupid, or like, we're just gonna ignore it, and that's the joke. And I'm just like, guys, you need to stop doing this. There's ways to write plots that make sense that are also funny. Even short ones, like, we only have host segments to do this and we gotta go. There's ways to do it, and I think that that is where they fail over and over. Because that's the thing. Same thing in season 8. There's some plot-related episodes or segments that are very good and very funny. Prince of Space and Time Chasers have great plots and really funny segments that utilize those plots through the whole episode. And then there's these seasons and a lot of other season 8 episodes where they're like, oh, we're in Roman times, and it doesn't work. It's just not funny. It's just dragging and plodding along. And then with these, it's like, oh yeah, the original Mads, they're effing dead, like dead, and they'll never come back. Or it's like, hey, we're gonna kill Jonah, have him automatically come back, and not even explain in a joke what happened. The joke is that, oh, we're not gonna say anything after a year and a half of it, when sitcoms will have someone leave for like half of the episode, and the joke is that you don't hear about it. That's not something that you use for a season finale, even in a comedy, and then not answer, even in a jokey way. So that's the thing. When they try to do things like this, like, oh, now the Mads can't speak and rhyme, so the plot can go on, that's just lazy and dumb. It's not dumb funny, it's just dumb. Again, because it's also breaking the laws of its own very simple canon. There's not a lot of canon you have to adhere to for this frickin' show, and they still aren't doing it. So that was my biggest problem. I think the episode overall was great. I think the movie, while bad, is easily not anywhere near the worst movies they've done. Not even close, especially when you add riff tracks into that lineup. Not even close. For me, at least. Maybe I'm a glutton for punishment at this point with these films. I don't know. But it was a great episode overall. Like the host segments overall. I just really hate, and I hated it from the last episode, I really, really do not like where they're going with this whole Emily and Jonah are going to try to escape together thing, because it retroactively makes Jonah dumb. Now you're making the Mads even dumber, and they were pretty effing dumb to begin with. And when you keep making them dumb in a way like this, that's just like dumber and dumber and dumber. It's like what they did with Patrick on SpongeBob. The dumber you make him, it doesn't make it funnier. It makes it harder to watch. Or it makes it less interesting to watch. Because then why are these the adversaries if they're this dumb? Like, Emily and Jonah should escape with no issues. So if you're going to make them that stupid, you got to at least make it funny. Or give them some kind of other strength or something. It just doesn't make sense to me. So we'll see. So anyway, that's my thoughts. Episode overall, great. Absolutely great. Just didn't like the ending segment, and I'm not looking forward to particularly what they seem to be wanting to do with the plot of this season, nor am I looking forward to Joel coming back for multiple reasons. It's like, Joel, if you want to riff again, just riff again. Just riff again. You know? Just do it. Like, don't, you know, or just be the host then. Be the host, or be the extra host, or whatever you're gonna do. But now it's like Jonah Hampton and Barron were all shortchanged for the amount of episodes they were gonna get, because you had a super short second season, show gets canceled, you do it again, and then you have the episodes, you only have like, 13, and you have those to where less than half, because one's gonna be Jonah, one's gonna be a collab, I think the Christmas one's a collab between everyone, and then the other half of what's left are Emily, I think it's half and half at that point. So it's like, you're not giving Emily a ton of time for her sea legs, for her to like get used to this, like Emily, Kelsey, Connor, to really stretch out and become these characters. And you're taking Jonah Hampton Barron and being like, well, screw you guys, are getting another really short season because Joel has to come in and do an episode, and we're going to also add this new girl. And I'm like, it's just really bizarre to me. It's been bizarre from the beginning, and it still is coming off as weird. Especially because so far, strongest episode is a Jonah episode by far. I'm not saying there can't be a strong Emily episode. I'm not saying that the Joel episode won't be strong. I'm just worried about where it's going, and I'm like sad that we're still waiting months to figure out what's going to happen. So we'll see. We'll see where this goes. Anyway, love this episode. Again, recommend this and the meal short. If you're gonna buy or rent any of these, check them out yourself. Please do. Like I said, I think it's a terrible movie, but we've had way worse. So if you were scared about it, I would say give it a chance. And if you really do hate it that much, that maybe my tolerance has just grown. Because I don't just watch them. I just thought about this. I'm like, why would my tolerance be that much higher than anybody else that watches it? Not only do I watch them, I do edit them. I did have to edit a whole review on Rollergator, so maybe that's what I'm thinking of, is like, I've been so steeped in it before, like, I'm not just watching these, I, like, get steeped in some of them. Maybe that's why, I don't know, but this ended up not being as bad as I thought it would be, so definitely check it out.